that what we do? Turn it on. What's with the police downstairs?
Y'all, we are recording right now.
Is that a new thing?
Mic's on.
Police downstairs? Is that a new thing? Police downstairs?
Folks, if you're here to present or make a comment, make sure when you go to the podium that you sign in and put the address.
You now have somebody downstairs, so we can call them. You have to. Hopefully, you know.
Yeah.
Stairs keep getting higher. Especially when you start the day out dressed for like 49 degree weather. And then by the end of the day, it's 85. Actually, it was beautiful outside today. Well, I'm calling you.
Today's a busy day. I said today was a busy day. Rob,
For you?
Father Rob, asked me if I sit in at St. Albans today.
Oh, really? Oh,
Albans, I'm down, still at home. I barely got home.
great day.
I bought my bag, I took it with me.
Smart.
I had to
Smart.
come straight here. Small. Trip. Coming back.
Where is that?
It's at the Citadel. Come back to the interstate. And At 4:30 in the afternoon. Interstate is pretty,
Mhm. Busy.
that's one way of putting it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it is so.
Well, going down 61 is actually better if you can go that way at that time of day.
Yeah, I use that one. Okay.
It's funny, when I lived in Somerville, I worked downtown for Southeastern Wildlife Exposition. And then
They're picking you up.
Third. They were wrong. You look very familiar. Call your wife out too. Are y'all available to her the same thing? No. I would like to film you. Well, I need a cute husband and wife to walk down the street. That's what I'm saying. Don't call me. You're already on the show. Okay. That one that I will call you tonight or tomorrow morning. I said something to do at 5. Yeah. And make sure you turn your mic.
Huh?
Turn your mic on.
I did. Good evening, y'all. I'm Philip Dixon, Chairman of the Board of Architecture Review. We welcome you to our Board of Architecture Review meeting. It's now 6 o'clock on the 4th of October and time for our meeting to begin. Depending on the size or complexity of a project, each applicant has the opportunity to present a conceptual or master plan for our review prior to committing funds for a full set of design plans and specs. Approval of a concept means that we might agree with the concept while disagreeing with some of the details. It also means that each phase of the project must be submitted at a later date once plans are more fully developed to obtain the board's final approval for that original portion of the project. Hopefully, any disagreements will have been worked out before the applicant comes back before the board. One of these projects being reviewed this evening has been submitted before and is now ready to be considered for further approval. For those of you who may be new to our meeting, our charge is to look at each project purely on aesthetics, design, architecture, height, mass, and scale, and in harmony with the historic district in the town of Somerville. We look at the overall street scene. Although we're not required to solicit comments from anyone other than the applicant and the board members, except for demolition requests, we usually choose to allow others to express comments that might help influence our decision-making after the applicant has presented the project and the board members have resolved any questions they might have. Because of the number of projects we have to review this evening, we ask that you limit your time to not more than 5 minutes if possible. As always, we will review each submittal in the order that it was submitted. However, as first order of business, we must approve the minutes of our last meeting, which were sent to the board members for review prior to this meeting. Are there any changes that need to be made, or do I have a motion they be accepted? Got a motion?
I'll make the motion.
You were the only one of us that's here.
Oh, then I'll make the motion.
You were here last month. You weren't.
I make the motion, we accept the minutes.
I'll second.
Thank you. Please answer for me when I call your name. Beth,
Yes.
Rachel,
Yes.
Nancy Jean,
Yes.
Jane,
Yes.
and mine is yes. The first project on our list tonight is 136 Linwood Lane, garage door design approval. If you tell us about it.
And you just tell me where you want to jump around within the picture.
Sure. Hello, my name's David McConnell. I'm the builder for the Wimberleys at 136 Linwood Avenue. Let's go to approximately, I think it's page 13. Just get past the plan.
Skip past the plans. This I couldn't zoom in on further, so if you have
Yeah.
something like on a phone that you
Go
can show
down to
them.
what we have left is to get the garage doors approved. And they've chosen something by HI Manufacturing. It's out of the Cottage Collection. It looks very similar to this. Now, if we go back to, let's see, 14. This is more of their selections. I guess the window at the top would be it's hard to see, a square design. And then the panels, the garage door panels will be this on the left, second circle down, that window at the top and the cross pattern at the bottom. Color will be white. Then on the right side, the glass, the part of the top is the glass selection. That's just plain glass. And then the grid pattern is on the right as well. The detail, I don't know if you want more details than that. The page 13 was just the quality of door. Y'all are probably more concerned with just the look. So, any thoughts that you guys might have, or?
I had a couple questions. Is the plans are drawn with 3/3 for the windows? Are you gonna use the 4/4
We were going with what the submittal was.
on this? Okay, but the plans were drawn with the 3/3.
Right. They were just, the plans were just a stock item.
Gotcha. And is it gonna be the 3 panels like that?
No, it would be on what shows on that submittal, the X pattern.
Can you zoom in on that? Because I was going by the drawing. Wow. And y'all have chosen not to use any hardware on the doors?
Oh, we like hardware.
I mean, I think that would make it look more like a cottage door.
We can select hardware if you like hardware.
I think if I was looking through the plans, that was one of the options. Yeah, down here where it's crossed out.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think the hardware kind of completes it. Otherwise, it looks like a roll-up door.
We've always asked for it.
Okay.
I don't think I think they just wanted to get approved and moved on. I think if we want to select something, they'll be agreeable. If we want to,
Okay, I think it all has to be in writing. Is that right, Becca? It all has to be approved?
So if you were to approve it with a condition that it has hardware and you say, these three options are acceptable on this sheet. And I would just confirm that with an inspection because they've already started construction, correct?
Okay.
So I would just confirm that when I inspect it, and it would be written on the updated certificate of approval that the garage door would have to have hardware.
Okay.
So Becca can approve the hardware as long as we approve it with the change in the hardware.
Yeah, if that's good with you all.
Yeah.
I think it would.
It looks better than,
Mhm.
And y'all could just send me a detail whenever you
Okay.
select it.
all right, that sounds good. Main thing was just to get the door selected and ordered.
And I just had another question about if there was going to be any lighting on the building, outside lighting.
Yeah. Yes, there will be.
Okay. Do
Just
you-
some- I think it's pretty much for the plan. It's a gooseneck fixture. But, I mean, she's subject to change. I would defer to her before I
Okay.
spoke.
Would she need to get with you on
The lighting,
options that she chooses?
yeah, we would need to know what the lighting's going to look like before y'all install it.
Okay.
So same thing with the hardware.
Submit it.
You just send it to me.
I think her plan is just a single gooseneck fixture above each door, but
Mhm.
she changes.
Those were the only questions that I had.
Okay. We'll be happy to submit that.
Did I miss a meeting where there used to be a little canopy over the man door? Did that disappear?
No, see, it's on there. It
It's-
might not be the latest drawings. Yeah, it has a little shed roof on there.
It's not on the front elevation.
These may have been the
These were,
previous drawings.
these were what were submitted at the last meeting. So these are the ones that were approved.
So the doors aren't. I mean, this
Yeah,
isn't a current
we've
drawing.
added
No,
the little shed
it is
roof
not.
over the main door.
But yes, the shed roof was a condition of the approval.
Yeah.
Rachel.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Mm-mm.
Can
I
have a
don't
motion?
have questions, but I do find it very difficult to see on something this big. To truly see what they're doing. And even when I had this on my home computer and was looking it up, like it was really hard to tell. What you were asking us to look at.
You want to do something different or may resend it to you or? Yeah.
Well, I'm wondering back in this instance, because we can't see very easily what he's asking us to approve. Is there some way that we can like look at it later, bigger?
I mean, that would just be another meeting, because it has to be a public hearing, if we do that with the board. But I think it shouldn't be too complicated, for them to pick out the hardware options and the light option. And
Right.
then, I think the discussion, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, from the meeting where it was approved, was that the shed roof was to be similar to the one that's above on like the side of the house. Maybe I'm remembering that wrong. But I mean, it's a simple shed roof.
Yeah,
So
it's a
I
simple shed.
I have no issue with if you want to make it a condition that they have to update these drawings to reflect that, and I can, on my final inspection, verify that the plans were followed, I think that's fine. And if there's something missing at that point, then we could address it then.
Well,
But beyond having another meeting,
so let me understand the changes then. These particular garage doors have 3/3 windows with 3 panels on each side, and we're going to 4/4 with 2 panels each side. Is that the change? Oh, we're doing an X.
I can't see.
and zoom in further, but it might get a little blurry.
So they're 4/4, is that right?
I guess it's 4/4.
Yeah, it would be 4/4 with the X design. The colors circled and then just regular glass. And then we'd pick from one of those hardware choices. If this is the manufacturer you're going with.
Well, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the garage doors with the X design and the 4/4. But they are required to put the hardware on. And I'd like the drawings to be updated or solidified with all of the various pieces that we have approved on a drawing, so that Becca, you can go on site easier and verify that it's being done.
I'll second that motion.
All right, please. Please answer yes or no for me. Beth,
Yes.
Rachel,
Yes.
Nancy Jean,
Yes.
Jane,
Yes.
and I say yes.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And I'll send y'all those conditions tomorrow.
Our next one is 923 South Main Street. Addition of windows.
Hey, my name is Michael Cutio. I'm with Alair Homes. And again, we're talking about 923 South Main Street. Becca, if you don't mind going to page 3 for me? Is that okay?
Can I ask you a favor? Can you turn your mic on? I'm a little old lady who is hard of hearing. Okay,
I can definitely try to talk louder,
okay,
yes.
thank you.
And so page 3, yes, I want to give you a sense of where these windows are in the building, since they're not on the main house. And so the 2 windows on the front elevation, the client would like to replace and then add a 3rd casement window on the back side of the property, or the back side of the building. And then Becca, on page 4, we should see elevations of what's there currently, and then what the client would like to go back with. And so the top is existing and the bottom is proposed. The proposed grids are identical to what we see on the main house as well. And so everything that we're doing in this regard are in similar likeness to the existing structure on the property. So then page 5, Becca, is going to show us the back of the property where we don't have a window currently, and we would like to add that window. All of these are going to be the same manufacturer, and that manufacturer is Geldwin. It's a wood window that comes with a 20-year rot and termite proof warranty. And so if we can go to page 6, you'll see an existing, one previous to that. That's an existing window on the accessory structure. And then the following page is an existing window on the main structure, so that we can kind of see what we're upgrading it to. We're upgrading it from those aluminum windows to a wood window in the similar likeness. On page 8, you'll find the actual manufacturer information from Geldwin of what type of window that we're going to use. Obviously, that one is not portraying the grid pattern that we plan on going back with, but the grid pattern will match the elevations that we've submitted.
Can you tell me what the color of the accessory dwelling or accessory structure is? So it's that dark brown?
It is that dark brown. And so the intention is to go back with the dark bronze coloring on those windows.
And there will be inserts between the glass.
Are you referring to the simulated divided light? Yes,
Mhm.
we can definitely do that.
Looks good to me.
Any other questions?
I don't have any questions.
No, I like the upgrades in the windows and, I think the trim around the windows is much nicer than what's on there. It looks very nice. It looks more of a cottage style.
Yes, ma'am.
Looks in keeping with everything else.
I'll make a motion that we pass it. I'll second that.
All right. Please answer for me. Beth,
Yes.
Rachel,
Yes.
Nancy Jean,
Yes.
Jane,
Yes.
and mine is yes.
Thank
So
you.
thank you very much, sir. Our next one is 208 Sumter Avenue.
How are y'all?
Good.
Am I loud enough? I've never been told I'm too quiet.
Sign in.
Oh, I am quiet. Oh, sign in. Yes, ma'am. I think we've got an easy one for you. You never know. All right, ready, Becca? Look at that beautiful summer kitchen. Okay, so we are doing something super easy. See the back wall here where the refrigerator is? It's rotted to the core and it needs to have can you go back so you can see the full view one more time? Okay, to the right, or at least my right, there's that giant oak tree that's right there.
Mhm.
And right under that oak tree is a garden, a beautiful little English garden. They're putting a swing on the oak tree. And what they'd like it to be is a French door at the back that would pass through right into that little garden area. And the French door is going to be matched to the same as the ones on the back of the house. And that's it.
So that would be where the refrigerator and.
We're getting rid of all that junk and gonna put under, you'll have to come see, but there's gonna be beautiful appliances that'll go under counter. So nobody will see it from the yard and it'll just be really clean, really pretty.
Looks really good.
I think it really is gonna be awesome. And you can like sit under that gazebo, well, it's not a gazebo, the summer porch, and you'll be able to look right out under the oak tree and see like a tree swing and a garden. But that's it.
So they're glass doors.
Yes, ma'am.
I think it looks great.
Thank you.
Looks good.
We're allowed to remove these fans and put new ones up, right? No. Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Just making sure. I don't have that, but we are literally matching kind to kind. It'll be the same ones on the back of the Elizabeth Arden home that are currently there.
We have a picture of those.
I think you just said it was a wood door. Is it a solid wood door?
It's gonna be glass. See them
Oh, like,
here?
okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's nice. Looks good.
We
Yeah.
would just like you to make sure that it's like true divided lights, not just like little grills tacked on.
Yeah, we're not putting junk on this house.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Beck, I'm okay, if we can make a proposal for, a motion to approve that with the proviso that it has that characteristic.
I'll be inspecting it, so.
Okay.
And then we can do lunch.
Sure.
You have a couple to look at. We're almost done. Y'all can come too.
Any other?
I'll second. If y'all don't have any questions,
Mm-mm.
I'll second.
We've got, I didn't hear a motion.
I made a motion
Okay.
that we approve it
We
as a
couldn't hear
wood
you.
door with true divided lights.
Thank you,
and that
Rachel.
Becca could
I just
check
didn't
that.
hear. Please answer for me. Beth,
Yes.
Rachel,
Yes.
Nancy, Jean.
Yes.
Jane,
Yes.
and mine is yes. So
Thank you, guys.
that's good.
Looks nice.
Our next one is 408 Sumter Avenue.
Hi, I'm a little nervous, so I'm
Okay.
I feel like I'm in school again.
And y'all, there is a picture of the original staircase for this, but for the presentation, if y'all could just show the picture on like your phone to
Yeah,
them,
it's,
because it's so
it's
old and
very
small.
a very old picture. I already have it blown up, but I'll be happy to show it to you. So we would like to ask to restore the historic stairs that were originally on the home. I'm sure you're aware, but it was built as a 1.5-story raised cottage. And sometime around 1930, they enclosed the foundation, which is what's now the ground floor. So our kitchen is down there. We're not terribly tall, so for us, it works really well. But we would like to restore the stairs with the ambition of relocating the living spaces on the first floor back up to the original entry floor, which is the second floor that you see there. I think that it's important that we get this approved and built prior to the bigger picture. Our stairs on the first floor inside, we just moved in 4 weeks ago, and it's atrocious to move anything up them. I think our Lowe's man had a heart attack when he moved our washer dryer up the stairs.
Mm.
So in order to put a kitchen on that second floor, I think it would be paramount to go ahead and get the stairs done. As far as keeping in likeness with the house, we'd be replicating the balusters, the wooden ones that are currently on the second story porch, down the sides of the stairs, with the only change being on, I'm not an architect, so excuse my verbiage, on the bottom part of the balusters, the ones that are currently on the house have a square base. And the architect I'm working with proposed on the newel post on the bottom where they meet the ground to round those to prohibit wood rot. So they're drawn with both. And actually, is there another? No. Oh, maybe they didn't upload. Is that the current?
Yeah, there's a
right there,
rounded
right
one
there.
right
I'm
here.
sorry.
Okay.
So the bottom one is the rounded version. And then the top one's the square to keep in likeness with the current balusters. The other issue we ran into is the current railing is 3 3/4 of an inch too small to meet code. So we're also proposing a top rail to meet code that you see in the picture. So that would be added to the existing railing on the second story and then continue that theme down the side rails of the stairs.
So is that a wood railing? you're
Yes,
adding
ma'am.
yourself?
Yes, ma'am. And actually, I inadvertently saw a great example. The Wishman's house,
217 Sumter,
Okay.
217
they
Sumter.
have a top rail. I know his stories. That's almost identical to the one that we'll be putting up. So I'd be happy to take photos of those or than some. So you kind of have an example, but we looked at a lot of different options for this. Our architect sent us like a iron version that I did not like. And then there's also a decorative one, and I don't love it, to be honest, but we have a 4-year-old, a 2.5-year-old, and a 1-year-old. It's quite low when you're out there on the porch. You just want to kind of sit on it because it's that height. So even though we technically don't have to correct it, I think it's important. This is our forever home that we go ahead and make that change too. It's pretty low. I mean, it's not, I've seen lower, but again, it's worrisome for our kids. And then do you want to see this?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's a safety net.
Yeah, I've loaded up as much as I could.
I don't know if I can. I'm gonna.
That is really
go that way.
And then I'll also note too, it's shown on the proposed drawings, but where the current brick pathway is, I don't know the terms, but it's like an archway to meet the porch. We would continue that. So where the stairs come down and meet that brick pathway, it would be arched. It's right there on the top. Yep, on that one, but yeah, right there. It would be arched to meet the pathway. So we would just continue what is there now. We would just shift it up. I know.
Is the extra rail that you're doing for safety's sake,
Yes, ma'am.
is it flat or is it beveled like the one underneath it, or
I
do you
think
know?
it's drawn, it is flat.
I saw one at another house not long ago where they had done that and they put a little bit wider board on it and used it for putting plants on it.
And put what on it? I'm sorry.
Drinks or plants?
Oh,
So,
plants.
you know,
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Pots,
That's nice.
which
Yeah, I mean, it kind
Well, I
of
mean,
breaks my
if it's
heart that we
flat,
have to
you
do
can-
it because I'm not crazy about it, but now that I'm in this process and I've seen a lot of historic homes, a lot of them have this. So if you have a better idea, I would love to hear it. But right now, this is the best one. And then colors, it would be, we're in the process of repainting the house, but the stair treads would be Charleston gray, the risers would be white. And the railings would match. So the railings are white and the top rail is Charleston gray.
And just so y'all are aware, they actually decided to go a different direction with the color of this one. But that was approved at a staff level. It's no longer going to be the
Yeah,
paint.
I believe Chelsea was a warrior in this, but I really wanted the house to be pink. We have 3 girls and my poor husband one night was like, everything we own is pink. Please, can we just paint the door pink? I was like, okay. So he doesn't know this, but later down the road, I'm going to request that we can paint our carriage house pink. So. Oh yeah, here we go. Thank you.
And what color is the house gonna be?
The house is white.
It's gonna,
That's
that's already but it's that's
the house.
It's gonna stay.
Okay, started last Thursday.
Yeah, that was just a staff approval since it wasn't a color that I felt I could object
the
to.
only
the
thing you
doors
can
are
do
pink.
with them. With a rail like that, that's about the only thing you can do. Put another rail up above it. Otherwise, it's be extremely expensive.
We pulled color inspiration from a historic home on Queen Street. So these are the exact same colors that they used with the exception of bell powder, which I sent you an email about last week, but I haven't heard back yet. So eventually, right now, there are 2 front doors that are pink, but with the stairs, you will only see the main door.
Becca, could you go back to the sketch that shows the new railing over the existing? Like the little 3D sketch, I think shows
Oh.
it. Easiest. I have to admit, I'm a little torn and I don't know what the right answer is. On the one hand, I like that the existing balustrade railing is kind of left as it is and it's heavier. And that the top railing is very light so that you're not drawing attention to it. But on the other hand, I just worry that when you actually do it that way, it might look like a little cheap and nasty and not have enough meat to really look appropriate. So
I'm-
I'm not sure.
I'm glad you said that because that's a worry of mine as well. And I actually found a company that specializes in like historic woodworking.
Yeah.
And I know we have a folk Victorian home and he does some really beautiful, they're called toppers, but it's like,
Yeah.
it would be, I think it was the exact size that we had to have. I think it was 3 3/4 of an inch and it's like a motif, on the inside.
Mhm.
So I think it would add some really beautiful trim, but it would stand out. Right now, we don't have a whole lot of decorative trim on the house. It's just on the dormers.
Yeah.
But I think it would be kind of charming.
Yeah.
Instead of just putting like whatever those are, wood, just
Like
plain wood.
what I see with that kind of diameter of railing, like if you look at many buildings, the handrail that you grasp is supposed to be the size that your hand can
Mhm.
grasp it.
Mhm.
And this looks like it's a handrail size that you grasp as opposed to a guardrail size. So I don't know. I mean, I'd love to hear what the rest of you think, but I'm just worried that it's a little too simple and a little too light and that I mean, it doesn't destroy your balustrade, which is an important part, but I'm not sure that it's the right proportions to really fit this beautiful home.
I just don't want it to take anything away from the
I
way
hear you
they're-
on that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I get
that's my
it.
only worry.
But
is-
perhaps I mean, I don't really know the answer because I haven't actually done this and tried it out to see what works well. But, I mean, I can say in principle, I love this idea, but I almost would love to see a mock-up and have us look at it and see, did it really work as well as we're thinking it's gonna work with the proportions and the balance? Just because your home is so lovely that it's important to get it right, so it just doesn't look like like too simple,
Afterthought.
too,
No, I totally
yeah.
agree. Mhm.
And sometimes you just can't tell until you have a little mock-up done and you can check it out. And the other thing I personally am not liking is notwithstanding the improvement or the reduction of rot possible, I feel like the bottom baluster with the round base is so different than everything else that
I would agree with that as well.
I just don't think it's right.
We can go with the square.
But how do the rest of you feel about the top rail addition?
I feel pretty much the same way. I feel like it's not in keeping with the period of the house.
And sometimes, like I have seen options where like sometimes even like a little flat stock metal railing
That's what we
could
went. that-
be a
So that's
better
what we went with the
solution.
first time. And he actually sent me a video and in my opinion, it looked daintier, like it
Yeah.
looked a little more modern, which I didn't think complimented the house. I thought.
But
what-
sometimes like this is where I'm thinking that perhaps even just seeing something installed could
Mhm.
really help because sometimes trying to just make it not be original can be a cleaner solution. Like you really let the original stand and shine and be in its glory. And what you're doing is trying to just be quietly beside it and not detract from it.
Can I show you the decorative scrap?
Sure.
feel like what's in the drawing, just, it detracts from the balusters, which are so nice and
Yeah.
heavy and
Yeah,
just beautiful for that home. I mean, that was the decorative part of that whole,
yeah.
the whole porch. And I would like to see the no post, just, I like the square bottom and
Right.
maybe just a little beefier on the top.
Beth, what could you suggest to make it more compatible? My brain won't give it to me.
You know, I've never seen anything else used. I've never, I don't think it's required on historic homes. Am I
Mhm.
right?
It
Becca?
isn't.
As far as, sorry,
As raising the level of the,
I mean, I don't know what the building plan reviewer has, who they have talked to, or if. Okay. I'm not versed enough in the building code to,
Are you saying that to raise the base of it so that you have an extra?
no, why would, you would have to add the 3.5 inches or whatever.
Mhm.
I've never heard that before.
I do not think that they would be required. Well, the tricky thing here is there's a rule called substantial improvement. So if you do a certain amount of work and it's over 50% of the value of the structure, not the property, you have to bring everything up to code. For if it's, exactly, but that all has to be approved by the building department. That's not something that goes through me. So
I missed this, but you're saying that we would only have to make the railings on the stairs to code?
I'm not sure if
Uh,
they'd ask you to do that or not.
Okay, so we actually did draw that out the first time, and it looked terrible. Only because you had 3 different levels of heights on the side where the stairs start. And I actually have a vantage point perspective that I can show you. Standing on the corner of the porch with the 3 heights. And it just does not look good.
I would.
In that image, it looks like you've raised the base.
So if we have to make the railing, the side railing on the stairs to code, we have to make it.
Was there a reason why you, on your, since your rail on your steps is gonna be all new? Is there any reason not just to make it a little bit taller and have a single top rail instead of making it look like
Cost.
it?
I'm not made of money. These are custom made balusters.
Mhm.
They're not stock. So
But
each
that's what-
one has to be made and it's very expensive as is. If we were to replace every single baluster, that would be our whole renovation
No,
budget.
I'm not saying. the
think
ones
he's
on
just talking about the
I'm just
stair
saying the
rail.
Oh,
ones
just the stairs. So
Right.
bring,
turning those, I mean, you just making the square part a little bit longer and just.
but we
making
would
it
still have a top rail on the existing porch.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that,
have
that
the
might,
top
that
rail on
might
it,
look
because that-
worse.
Because what you're trying to do there is trying to raise it high enough, not just code wise, so that.
Yeah, to meet the
there's
stair
less
height.
chance of falling over.
Yeah,
But I just
For,
say, since it's all brand new,
right.
it doesn't
You could
seem
just
like any
make the-
point of
Okay. So
adding that
you-
extra.
Okay, so we would have the topper on the current existing railing, but not the stairs. And the
Yeah, that was
stairs, the
my thought.
balusters would just be
Yeah.
taller.
Yeah, I can understand why you put it on the horizontal rail.
Okay.
for process purposes, so they can actually continue on with the project, it might be beneficial to have the stairs without the extra railing and then come back with a design for the railing for the deck. So you guys can get started, but, because I don't know where you are in the permitting process as
No,
far as.
we haven't started. I'm just,
Right, no, I'm saying, if your architect is ready to submit drawings and has structural drawings lined up. If you're at that point, I just wasn't sure where you guys.
we're
were
not,
at. You're not,
but
okay.
yeah, but I really would, the quicker I can make it work, the better, just so I don't.
And the reason I say that is because the deadline for the November meeting is this Friday.
Mm,
We
okay.
can extend it for projects that are, at this meeting and definitely going to the next one, but the most I could extend it is the date we post the ad, which is, it's posted Wednesday, the Wednesday after that. So I know it's a tight turnaround as far as drawings.
So Becca, I have another question for you. If we approve the new stairs of location width, and if we, I'm gonna just assume for a second, if we approve the railing to match the existing with some kind of top rail, can we leave open what the design of that top rail is and circle back to that? But they can at least, that allows them to proceed with engineering and get foundations and whatnot designed.
Yeah.
And the top rail is a more aesthetic thing that perhaps we can circle back and review in a little more detail and make sure that it's gonna look really pretty for your house.
I need a clarification and y'all have probably talked about it and I've just missed it. On the porch, the posts are fixed on a base that is attached to the porch, or is there a space between the base board and the porch? Does that make sense?
Which
On
the
on the,
top.
on the level two, I'm talking about just
Oh,
the
on the
horizontal
deck. Yeah,
ones.
they're on the porch.
Okay, they're attached to the porch.
Yes, ma'am.
What, on the picture that you showed us that you had on your phone, it looked like some of those images had more of a space underneath the balusters.
Which,
And
which,
it looks
oh,
like,
these pictures?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And I guess what I'm trying to figure out, if it would save you and keep it more in context with the history of the home, if the base was raised, so you'd get the same balusters,
We
but
can't raise the
that
base.
one thing at the top, it wouldn't work.
So you can't have any more than it's a certain circumference sphere between any negative space, and we can't,
I got you.
yeah. So, literally the only option we have, is to put a topper on or replace the entire railing.
For safety's
unfortunately.
sake, you have to have it higher.
I
And
think so.
understand
With-
that.
I mean, our 2.5-year-old,
Mhm,
Lord help
sure.
me, is already climbing on it. So, yeah. Okay. No, I'm fine. I would actually really like that option to revisit the topper because I'm not crazy about it. And
Mhm.
again, this is our forever home and I want to make sure it's done right.
Right.
We're not planning on doing this soon. I would really like to make the topper right because I hate that I have to do it. Oh, on the bottom.
Like why you could keep the main look of the house exactly like it is without ruining 200-year-old banisters.
No, that's, it's, she's saying, do
Yeah,
it one
put it-
up. Yeah,
Structure
keep the
upgrade,
base
yeah.
exactly where it is, where it's legal, which I
I don't
didn't,
see why that would be that much more expensive. Because we already have
it would look better.
lever. I like that.
Preserve that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're historic. Mhm.
I actually
Yeah.
really like
And the only comment I would make is that it gives a little person a step to stand on to climb up a little higher.
Don't give her any ideas. Good thing she's
It's,
not here.
I mean, that is
I
part of
know,
the piece
yeah,
is
I
that
know.
it makes it more climbable.
Maybe I'll have it mocked up that way.
I think what we can say then is that we're open to hearing and seeing other options on how you might finish this guardrail so that it's safe and that it matches the railing that will go down the stairs, and leave it open to you to investigate that in more detail with your architect and figure out what you'd really, really like. But in general, I would be happy with the stairs in this location and the change back to stairs, even though these look a little wider than what they used to be. I think they suit the proportions of the home. Do we have any other conversation or are we open to making a motion?
You're,
So you're saying that you're fine with the staircase,
I'm fine. Are
the
you
position
fine?
of the staircase? But we would not be voting on the
I-
ballot, what to do with the balusters
Right.
or.
I think they need to study it a little more and come up with something that you love. And then come back. And it could be the whole thing is raised with something underneath. It could be that it's a different design on the top rail. I think there are just some choices that you and your architect could make. And then once you've found the solution that works best for you, bring it back to us and we'd be happy to see it.
So we won't hold them up.
Correct. I mean,
On-
that allows a lot of design and progress for you without holding it up and just saying, you know, we can't decide anything until we see the handrail.
Okay, that helps me.
what are your thoughts?
I think that's great. I think this house needs stairs back. I think it's the way it was originally intended to look.
Yeah.
I'm actually very much agree with you on the topper. So I think if, I have 5 more opinions on it, which I think, so yeah, I'll just work with him on, maybe reversing it or putting a decorative topper or something, and then come back with some
And it could be
options.
that it's just wider and like feels a little
Yeah.
beefier or a different material, like with some time and real investigation, you'll find something that you go, yes, I really do like that.
Yeah, I think there's some better options out there. I don't know what they are. So really haven't looked into that.
You'd be shocked. There's really not.
Really.
Yeah, I mean, because this is a very common issue across the United States, and steel's used a lot, but I do not like the way it looks on this house. So, so yeah, it's hard. I think the most common thing you see is like what's on the Wishmans, but their porch isn't the centerpiece of their home, or is this?
Right.
So,
right.
I get that.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
yeah, we definitely want to make sure it's.
Yeah. I'm just observing that we have found the clients who have like parts of a railing that have multiple bottom pieces is that children can climb. And if they can climb high enough, it can start then putting it into a dangerous piece. So sometimes that may be a worse solution, but I think it's worth drawing it and investigating and seeing,
Yeah.
does it look nice? Having a bigger gap at the bottom, or does it look odd too?
No, yeah, I understand that point too, but I think to keep the continuity of the railing leading into the staircase, I think they need to match, unfortunately.
I would agree with you on that.
So I think, they just need to look the same. So, so yeah, I think we'll just draw them several ways. I'll
Yeah,
do some creative research, try around and, try to come up with some different things.
And Rachel, is this something that would have to be permanent anyway? I mean, once the kids get older, is that something?
No, I
that-
think, well, I mean, it's code. So right now it's not
It's not a
not a
code.
code,
The
Mhm.
height.
considerably lower. So again,
even
this is
when
our
they get
forever home.
older.
When I'm 90 standing up there, I don't want to be like
Right.
toppling over the top.
and it is an insurance liability
Yeah.
too. So there's multiple reasons why when new work on a home happens, these kinds of it just triggers that you have to bring it up to code for safety. But the kind of solution that you're proposing is great because it really keeps the architectural piece the strongest and it is removable. So you haven't damaged the,
Right.
you know, the original historic piece.
Are you comfortable with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So do we have to vote on that, Becca?
I would
If
think.
they could move, for them to be able to move forward with the permit,
Mhm.
then yes, but I think the way you phrased it was fine, that the rail topper would have to come back before the board. You could say prior to construction of the stairs, because permitting in general, when you get to that point, can take 2, 3, sometimes more weeks, so.
And let me clarify too, I can bring options and we can have a discussion like we are now.
That's smart. If
That'd
you
be
can
great.
bring more than one option that we can look at
Yep,
the next
great.
time,
Okay.
it'll save you time
Okay.
and get you moving faster.
Yeah.
How do we phrase that?
So do I need to restate the motion or do you have that back?
No,
We
I
just
have it.
Need it seconded.
I have it. We just need a second.
Hmm.
I have it. I have that you would be approving the stairs. And the top rail would have to come back before the board for approval.
Okay.
So we need someone to second it.
I second that.
And we're approving the balusters that are coming down.
We're saying
The
that's gonna
stairs?
be approved.
That will be approved at a later
Mhm.
date.
The only thing is the topper. And you guys had the condition that the bottom baluster have a square bottom.
In the
Right.
railing.
Was
Well-
that Jane that seconded?
Yeah.
Okay.
And do you understand what we're proposing?
Yes, sir.
I just want to make. All right,
I don't think I really understand. Are
I-
we approving the balusters?
No, so
Mm-mm.
what we're saying is that the stair location, the stair shape, and the arrangement of the stair, we like it. It is approved. What we would like to see is further options investigated on what the railing would be for the existing at the porch, but that the porch railing should then match what's on our stair. And so both of those would come back and you would show us ones that you like with the goal of trying to have something that
Raises the level. a
but
little
it
bit.
meets code, but that it looks appropriate.
But There's
And,
not really a code.
well, there's a height requirement. That's,
The
code,
building
About
code.
the height.
yeah.
And
Not
also
our
you said that the code about
guidelines.
the base can't
Yeah.
be that.
And that the base of the stair, the bottom newel post should have a square base, not a rounded base.
And so,
We're really just approving that, yes, you can put a stair in, yes, it can be in this location and this wide.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, please answer for me. Beth,
I think I'm gonna defer.
Rachel,
Yes.
Nancy Jean,
Yes.
Jane,
Yes.
and I say yes.
thank you.
Beth, you abstained.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
And I'll send you all of that information tomorrow so you don't have to remember it, right? Okay. And I'll, that email you sent me, that's fine, but I'll send you a confirmation tomorrow. I'm sorry. It's been busy. Y'all, I don't have any miscellaneous for us tonight. So if I can get a motion, unless there's anything y'all have to talk about, we can get out of here.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second,
That's a yes or no?
Yeah, amen.
Go ahead and turn your mics off. We're done.